beings, entities, that energy, that frequency to attract that prosperity to us. You can't be down in the dumps, miserable, waking up every day pissed off at the world, and then wanting to attract love. Love cannot magnetize to you. You can't anchor it because the frequencies are mismatched. The frequencies have to be the same if you want to pull that in. So, another little exercise I like is I call it the bowling ball, right? It's the visualization process of a bowling ball of energy from divine source, like what we were just talking about, asking and grabbing that blue frequency fire to break obstacles on our path. So, even in the realm of the dead, the realm of spirit, you don't want to react. You want to stay very grounded. You want to try to pull that energy. You're going to have to be a little bit more forceful, but if you react, they're going to get an energetic push. It gives them more power. So if you can stay grounded and non-reactive, they can't get any energy then. It kind of makes them weak and vulnerable, very easy to pull. So just kind of an FYI. And you guys can always private message me if you're encountering a weird situation. But other things I like to use were spaces and places and objects, feathers again. Black hen feathers specifically have always been my go-to. Those are good cleansing agents. Your breath, you can actually blow out obstacles. This is, shamans do this. Again, it does require visualization, focus, and concentration, but using your breath, you can literally blow out attachments. Same thing with obstacles on your timeline. If you would rather use the breath method of blowing out versus the scooping method into the bucket of water or the vortex. Then there's the molecular dissolution and magnetic calling technique. So, I had to throw a couple of heady things in here, right? And all that, they talk for a couple of hours until that plane finally is able to take off. Long story short, she's been married to this guy now for over 10 years, right? And if that situation, if that obstacle had not presented itself, she probably would have never met this guy, right? So it's just kind of a quick little kind of glance at how obstacles sometimes exist for a divine purpose, right? So I like that story. So I always share that when I'm talking about obstacles and how they can have meaning outside of just pissing us off, right? So there usually is a spiritual reason for an obstacle. I want you guys to think in terms of obstacles being teachers, teaching us lessons, teaching us resilience, patience, how to tap into our own personal power and our will. I think that obstacles exist to prompt us to question our own direction. What are we doing? Why are we doing it? I think that obstacles are also reminders sometimes of lessons that have already been presented to us that we haven't fully digested, right? So if we have these unlearned lessons, these obstacles will keep reoccurring because there is a need for transformation. And so I have a lot of clients that are like, why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening? And I'm like, well, there is a need for transformation. There is some sort of lesson here, something that you are supposed to be growing into. And this obstacle, as irritating as it might be, is going to continue to present itself until this is digested, right? So it's usually energy that needs dissolution. Sometimes the universe will scold us if we interfere with timelines. And that is because some obstacles, I think most obstacles can be removed in doing some of the, things we talked about today, but not all. I think some obstacles are part of a predestination that we aren't supposed to screw with our own or with other people's. And you're going to know. You are going to know. You're going to feel it. You are going to have an awareness of it somehow. If you keep trying to remove something that is a predestination factor, the universe probably is going to get a little bit pissed. And you are going to be told not to interfere with that timeline in some way, shape, or form. And you need to respect that. And part of it is, especially if you're like me, I'm a third party practitioner and you're my client. I know that the consequences for you are going to get bad if you don't learn your lessons. And if I keep taking this obstacle off your path and you're not learning that lesson because I keep moving it, crazy shit's going to start happening, and it's going to start ramping up and getting worse and worse. The consequences are going to come in because now you're not learning a lesson that you have to learn. So, as a good practitioner, as a good person, I'm going to probably say to you, listen, I'm being scolded here because for whatever purpose, whatever reason, you need to learn something here and we need to leave it alone, as shitty as that is. And not everybody's going to be receptive to that. You're going to